the opponent and bowl?
Super excited. Louisville's a really good team, so I'm looking forward to it. I think it should be fun.
And what is the difference, playing a Power Five team versus, I don't want to call anybody out, but a group of five in a minor bowl? Like, what is that mindset shift?
I don't think it really shifts anything for us. I think either way we're going to take the same approach when it comes to our preparation. But yeah, I mean, any team you play, they're going to have athletes. This team just might have a couple more athletes than what we've seen in some other teams, but I'm really looking forward to it.
And what job did you get?
I got contracting. Super excited about it. Yeah, it was what I wanted.
That was what you wanted?
Yes, sir.
What do the next few months look like for you? Like, is there going to be football preparation? Is there going to be thinking about your career? Like, what happens next for you?
I'm
After
not.
the bowl game, I mean,
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I know we have a bowl game coming up, and that's what I'm preparing for right now, and that's where my focus is. So.
And did you go to the Cheez-It Bowl? Because that was your sophomore year. Did you make the trip?
I did not make the trip, sadly.
So, what's it going to be like to?
Yeah, it would be my first bowl game, so I'm super excited for it. It was one of our goals this year was to go to a bowl game. So yeah, I'm pumped. So.
Does it put in perspective with the COVID year that we had last year that, like, hey, these opportunities don't come around every single year?
Yeah, I mean, the COVID year was really weird. So I guess this year it just made us a lot more thankful that things were back to normal. You'd think, sometimes we would play and then we would prepare for a game and then the game would get canceled. So now that we kind of have a routine and a normal season, it's like a relief, after coming off the season last year.
I know you're a Cali guy, but have you ever played in Texas before? Have you ever had experience football with Texas? Let me ask you that.
The Army game was in Texas at the baseball stadium. That was my first time playing in Texas, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Is everything bigger there, like they say?
I don't know. I didn't really get to experience much of it. We were only there for 2 days, but.
How about for you, Brandon? Final football game. It's in a bowl game against a school that's notable school and college football, and just getting that one more opportunity to play the game you love.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've been playing football since I can remember. The age of 5. You kind of dream of this. Growing up, you watch the bowl games and bowl season. You always look forward to it, and being able to participate in it this year, super excited.
Is it a little bittersweet though, knowing that this will be it, last time putting on the pads here at Air Force?
Yeah, I've had a okay career here, and I'm thankful I came here and love the players that I play with and the coaches that I get to play for. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm just gonna try to have fun.
You were honorable mention All Mountain West. Were you surprised to see your name on there, just given the position you play within this offense?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised, but I'm just blessed and thankful to be in the position I'm in. I think the coaches did a really good job this year of trying to find ways to get me the ball, so I'm just thankful.
Have you asked your teammates that have been to a bowl game what the experience is like, and did anything they say stick out to you?
All the time, when my friends had came back from the Cheez-It Bowl last year, I was calling them while they were there, and then when they got back, talking to them. So I guess you spend like a week there, and it's kind of all football. So it would be nice, kind of getting away from the academy and experiencing like a different football atmosphere in that stance. So I'm really looking forward to it.
You mentioned Coach did a good job of getting the ball to you this year. I know the season's not over, but you've been a part of one of the better seasons here at Air Force, and you personally have accomplished some things that haven't been done here. Have you thought about that at all?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I'm thankful, that my senior year kind of turned out like this. You try to win as many games as possible every year, and for us to kind of have the season that we had, especially for me as a senior, it's been super cool, and I love the people that I'm playing with, so it's been awesome.
I want to ask you, when you say it's a different football atmosphere, is it going to be kind of cool to be able to spend Christmas with the football boys and just, you don't have to deal with the academy, it's just you guys maybe eating barbecue the whole entire time? Like, is that going to be like the best part, you think?
Yeah, you get to spend Christmas with the Bolt brothers, I guess. Should be fun. I love these guys. It's going to be like my last season with them, so I'm just trying to, live in the moment and take this experience in and have fun with it.
When we talked a few weeks ago, I was kind of asking about the opportunities you've had on the field, and like, do you wish you had more? Past few weeks, you've had quite a few. You've been very much featured in the offense. Like, do you feel like you're going to leave here satisfied with what you've been able to do and the chances you've had?
Yeah, I mean, overall, I'm just happy that we're winning games. I feel like when I'm old, I probably really won't remember the specifics of games and the stats, but I'll remember the wins and losses that I had with my teammates. So to me, that was the most important thing, was just trying to win as many games as possible. But to hit on what you were saying, yeah, I mean, I feel like when I've been given the opportunity, I've done the best I can. So I feel like I've utilized, my opportunities.
And the First Responders Bowl, your dad's military, right? Wasn't he?
Yes, sir.
Career Navy? Is that what he was?
Yes, sir.
Is there other first responder, people in your family? Is your mom a nurse or something like that to where this game would mean something more to you?
Yeah, I have a bunch of family members that have, served. I had my little brother, he's in the Marines. He's currently in Japan, stationed over there. Older brother was in the Marines. He's out now. And, I've had uncles and stuff, firefighters, and they have also other uncles that have served in the military. So it means a lot for me to be able to play in this game.
When you said you were watching the Cheez-It Bowl, from were you at home just watching it and texting your teammates? I mean, was there a point in your mind where you said, like, hey, like, I need to go to a bowl game at some point? Was there ever that moment watching the game?
Yeah, I mean, it, for a lack of a better word, it's kind of sucked not being able to go. But, yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said, growing up, you always watch these bowl games and bowl season. And, you always want to, play in it, being a football player myself. So being able to get the opportunity to be a part of, a bowl game and a bowl game as cool as the First Responders Bowl, I can't wait.
Were you surprised that it's taken this long to get to a bowl game for you? Because when you signed, Air Force had been like 10 or 11 years. And now it's just, with COVID and then, your sophomore year and then the 2 years before that. Are you surprised that you're a senior just going to your first one?
Not really. I mean, I guess a little bit. But I'm just thankful that I am going to one, being able to have this experience with the people that I'm having it with is something that you dream of, and, I can't wait to be there, so.
And have you started to prepare at all for Louisville on your own? Like, have you looked over stats or personnel or anything like that?
I mean, I watched a couple of the games this year, the Kentucky game, the Clemson game. So I know they're a really talented team. They have a really good quarterback. He's a great athlete. So yeah, I mean, I've seen some games. Not really. I haven't dived into their film. I'm sure we will coming up in this week. So I'm looking forward to it.
And what was it like yesterday? Did you guys find out at all before it was like on social media? Like, did the team get a heads up at all?
No, we didn't get no heads up. I found out really from my parents. They texted me. They sent me like the screenshot saying, "This is the bowl game you're going to." We had an idea of maybe like this bowl game or this bowl game. So I mean, we had no idea.
Were you checking stuff all morning? Were you?
Yeah, I was Google searching, trying to find articles, seeing if anything had came out yet.
I just want to know your reaction to the bowl game and the matchup and all of that.
I'm excited. I guess now we're locked in and know who we're going to play. It was kind of tough at first not knowing who we're going to play or where we're going to play them. So now we got face to who we're going to play, and it's exciting. Louisville is going to be a good matchup, I think. It's kind of exciting. I always say I think the Mountain West is kind of an underrated conference. So whenever we have a chance to play some of these big schools, these Power 5 schools, it's always exciting for us.
Does it remind you of the Cheez-It Bowl situation?
Just a little bit, especially because we weren't really expecting it. At least I wasn't expecting it. We were kind of thinking we were going to get Armed Forces or something like that. So when it came out and we saw it was Louisville, we were all really excited for it.
Yeah. What is the difference, between playing at Louisville versus playing a MAC team or somebody else?
I don't know if there's really a huge difference between it. I mean, we have the same gameplay for all of them, go out there and try to win the game. I think the only difference is they're a Power 5 team, and like I said, whenever we have a chance to go play those teams, so going up and playing Boulder, playing Washington State, teams like that, it's always just something that I think is a little bit more focused into it because we know we want to win those games.
And how did you find out yesterday?
I think I was kind of just looking through it. I know that they do the online bowl trackers things, and I just happened to go on there and it showed it.
JJ, for the year that you had last year with sitting out, but playing in the Cheez-It Bowl in 2019, do you appreciate going to a bowl game this year a little bit more?
Absolutely, especially somebody who first 2 seasons you go 5-7, and then that third one you get to a bowl game. and you see what it's like being at a bowl game. It's really exciting. So, yeah, it's definitely something I think the whole team's excited for. I'm definitely excited for. All the seniors are excited for, and just ready to go and have a good time.
When you thought about taking the turn back, was this one of the reasons why you thought about doing it, being able to be in this position right now?
Absolutely. Knowing that we'd have this chance to go to a bowl game, not knowing what was going to happen with that shortened season, not even knowing there was going to be a shortened season when I made the decision, and not knowing how the bowl game situation was going to come out and all that stuff, I think taking it now and being able to know we're going to a bowl game is definitely big.
How much football have you played in Texas, if anything, aside from, of course, the Army game that you guys played earlier in the year? Anything in high school?
I've never played in Texas other than the Army game. I think that was my only time playing in Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you were there, was everything bigger, as they say in Texas?
I think it might be a little bit overhyped, but but it was definitely a cool venue. They did a great job with that game, and that was really cool. But everything else it's just Texas.
For you, go for it.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Final question for me is just what was the best memory you had from the Cheez-It Bowl that you hope to recreate?
Winning. I think winning's probably the biggest one for me. Getting done with that game and everybody's all excited, running to go see family, hugging each other, hugging all the seniors, knowing that was going to be their last one. I think that was probably the biggest part for me.
What was your reaction when you saw Louisville?
Oh, I was excited. Like I just said, whenever we get a chance to play these Power 5 teams, it's always a little bit bigger for me, I think, especially because whenever anybody hears the Mountain West, they think it's not that great of a conference. Like I said, I think we're underrated a little bit. So whenever we got a chance to go out and play teams that are in the Power 5 teams, I'm always excited to play them.
Had you ever heard of the First Responders Bowl?
I had not. I actually had not heard of it. Like I said, I was expecting Armed Forces, and I heard one of the other ones that was also in Texas, but I had not heard of First Responders, and then I looked it up, and I heard it's actually a pretty big bowl. So, yeah.
And obviously you've been through this experience before, but now that you're a senior, will you kind of, not that you didn't cherish it 2 years ago, but will you maybe cherish it a little bit more?
Absolutely. We were talking about going out with a bang against UNLV, but now we really have another chance to go out with a bang and finish strong with all the seniors and all the young guys, showing them how to go through this process and trying to win this last game.
Is it a little bittersweet just because all this great stuff is sadly going to come to an end one way or the other?
Just a little bit. I know after the UNLV game, I wasn't too upset about it because I knew we had one more, so we'll see how this one goes after we get done with this.
What do you tell the guys who haven't been to a bowl game what the experience is going to be like?
You explain that it's a fun time. I mean, you had a week. It's like a week vacation, but it's also a business trip. So enjoy it as much as you can, but also understand that we're going there to try to win a game. So that's probably the biggest thing for the young guys is to understand.
And then you don't play for 3 weeks. So what are the next 3 weeks like? I know you're used to playing, game, week of practice, a game, you go home for a little bit. So just what are the next 3 weeks like for you?
A lot of lifting, especially these next couple of weeks. We lift this week. We got finals coming up. Is that this week? Next week? End of this week. Yeah, we got finals coming up. And then for the couple of us seniors, we got graduation next Thursday? What's today? 16th, so 10 days. We got graduation, go home for a few days, and then get right back to Texas and start getting to work.
Trey mentioned his favorite picture from Air Force football is you just like throwing Cheez-Its and on your face after you won. Do you hope to try to recreate something like that after?
Oh, that would be great. I don't know what they're going to give us to be able to do that. So if they give us something, I'm going to try to do it again. But, yeah, that was awesome. That's probably one of my favorite pictures.
You definitely don't want an ambulance, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if they got something a little bit smaller, then I'm going to test it out again.
So you must be pretty confident about finals if you don't even know when they are, right?
I only have 2 of them, and they're in 2 classes I'm doing pretty well in. So I'm hoping I can just go in there and kind of knock them out and get out of there. So we'll see.
What's that going to be like? Just because obviously going to school here is not easy. Just knowing that when you're finished with that last final, like life's going to be a little easier, I guess, academically.
It's exciting. Going through the prep school and then these 4 years, it's a long time coming. So once I get done with that last final, I don't know how I'm going to feel, but I'm excited to do it and figure it out.
Will you celebrate like you won the Cheez-It Bowl?
I'm going to have to. Me and all the other guys that are done, we're going to have to celebrate.
JJ, I know you have NFL aspirations after this. How does that affect what the next couple of weeks look like? You just got to get ready for it, basically, or?
That's for after the bowl game for me. I really want to win this game, go on the bag, become another champion of something else. We kind of let go a couple of the championships that we wanted, the CIC, the conference. So this is a big one for us to get this one and say we're a champion.
And for you, I know we were talking to Brandon, the week that you guys are going to spend in Texas is no academics. It's just straight football and fun. How much are you looking forward just to be with the Bolt Brotherhood for that week and just doing your thing?
Oh, it's so exciting. That's what it was for the Cheez It Bowl too. Just being able to kind of relax, focus on just football and the relationships with the guys. That was the biggest thing. So that's something I'm really excited for. And knowing that I'm actually done with school for good, that is also very exciting.
Big memory you have from the Cheez Bowl that was like, oh my God, that was fun with the boys?
When we went to, was it Texas de Brazil or Fogo de Chao? Whatever one that one was, we sat, it was like the whole D-line sat together, and we just ate so much food and just laughed, and it was just a great time. Yeah.
So logistically, you graduate. Well, you won't commission though, will you?
We're still trying to figure out how it works. Right now, that seems to be the plan going forward, would be to not commission, and then while they figure out decision going forward, and then we don't know how that's going to go, but we'll figure that out as it comes. But yes, it would be to not commission and then test our luck with the league stuff, and then once we figure out how that goes, then commission or not commission.
So what will it be like at graduation? Like family coming in? Like how many people are going to be there for you?
Oh, I texted my mom and I had her try to figure it out, and she's still trying to figure it out. But I know she's coming, my brother's coming. Try to get my aunts and uncles and grandmas and all of them to come. One of my sponsor families from around here, try to get him to come, and then hopefully we can get the whole team there. So we'll see if we can get that to happen.
And like, you know, obviously in the stadium, everybody throws their hat. You have a flyover. Like, have you talked to anybody what a December graduation's like? And
No, I have not. Honestly, it doesn't have to be too big for me. As long as they give me my diploma and I can get out of there, I'm good to go. So I don't need anything too big.
And when you look back at this season, obviously you moved to the interior a lot. How has that been? You know, that transition and kind of sacrificing the bigger numbers playing on the edge when you've done that.
I think actually one of the first interviews we did this year, somebody asked me how that kind of was, and honestly, it is what it is. The numbers are cool and everything, but I want to win games at this point. I've seen the numbers. I've done all that stuff. And at this point, winning games was the biggest thing for me, and trying to get to where we're at now, at least getting a bowl game. Like I said, we dropped those other two championships that we wanted. But moving aside has been kind of fun, honestly. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit more physical and stuff like that, but I think it's also a little bit more fun in like the pass rush game and stuff like that. So it's been tough a little bit, but it's also been fun for me, and it's also great seeing other guys step up and do different things like Vince, and you see Chris Herrera starting to do a little bit more things out there, and Jaden Thurgood stepping into a starting role and doing some things. So yeah, it hasn't really been bad for me. I've kind of enjoyed it.
And you say you're aware of the numbers. Like when you look at your career numbers, is there anything that stands out that you're particularly proud of? Because you're moving up on some lists.
Yeah, I think this year was definitely a better pass rushing year for me. I got more sacks than I normally had, and I think that was probably the biggest thing for me. Other than that, everything else is just like I got some tackles, a little bit less than I had sophomore year, but I also had less my junior year than I had my sophomore year as well. So, yeah, that's something you kind of look at, but like I said, you look at them, but at the end of the day, as long as we're winning, I'm okay with what I got.
And when you see like Vince's numbers, do you understand your role in that too? Because the double teams you're getting, and if not just him, anybody else, you know.
Yeah, I know it definitely has a little bit of a role in that, but Vince what he's done this season has been crazy. It kind of shocked me. I knew he was a great player, but what he's done this season is absolutely amazing. I'm proud of him, and I'm really excited what he does in the future.
Did you see that coming, like in pass rush drills or anything like that over the past few years?
Vince has been one of those guys where we talk in the locker room and we're like, he's going to be really good. And we talk about it, but we didn't know when it was going to happen. So when it started happening, we're like, oh, here it comes. And now I'm really excited to see what he does next year.
Why were you talking about that? Like, if you haven't seen it yet, what in him made you think that?
There's just some guys you can just see do certain things in their athleticism and the way they move and the way they go about things that you can kind of just say that and you see it and then they do it and you're like, oh, well, yep, that's what I thought.
And have you added some size this year?
I gained a little bit of weight, especially coming off a turnback. I gained probably like 10-ish pounds, 10, 15 pounds, and I dropped some as the season goes on, which is normal. So now I'm probably heavier than I've been in typical seasons, but not too much more.
And I know you want to talk about this next game, but moving out, like what position will you play? Like what are scouts, if you've heard anything, like where do they see you?
I'm not 100% sure. I've heard different things about different positions. Wherever they want me is fine with me. So I guess we'll see when that time comes.
I'm wondering, JJ, from the Mountain West All Conference team, any thoughts on that? Like, no first team yet. You guys lead the conference and defense. Like, was that surprising to you at all?
I would say it was kind of surprising, but we don't make the list. If you want me to make the list, I'm going to put 11 guys on there from our team every time. 22 guys, honestly. So, but we don't make the list. There's not much we can do about it. But, yeah, I think it's definitely kind of shocking a little bit. Like I said, talking about Vince, that's somebody who, if anybody I thought was going to be on there, it's going to be him. So not seeing him on there, I don't know how I felt about that one. But we don't make the list. Me and him kind of talked about it in the locker room. We kind of laughed about it, and you just move on.
What classes are your finals in?
Aeronautical engineering and philosophy.
He's cake.
Yeah.
He's a cake.
Makes prepping for a football game seem a little easier.
Just a little bit.
What is, and I realize everything's up in the air, what is the job and location?
Civil engineering in Tyndall Air Force Base.
Which Air Force?
Tyndall, it's down in Panama City Beach, Florida. Yeah.
That's a nice fallback.
Yeah, it
I bet you.
is. Yeah.